Waldo Politics is now live streaming just chatting, they are arresting judges now? Who is next? Oh hi Trader Todd, thanks for coming. Oh hi KBP. You did it KBP. You never quit gambling. And it has paid off. How many points do you have? Those will really help in the coming Marxist utopia. Hi Souls, thanks for coming. Getting started soon. Toss any links to cool stories into the Discord.
Oh, hi. Hello. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. I'm coming to you live today from the inside of KBP's ear. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Uh, it's nice and cloudy today, and I could not be happier. I hate that grotesque day star that that burns my flesh and gives me cancer, so I avoid it at all costs. And out there, I know it seems kind of bright. I am going to close that window, actually, so you can look at my bum for a moment.
Hi Waldo. Nice bum 3.
Thank you, Valor. I appreciate that. It's a lie, but I appreciate you saying so. Uh, the the light comes in too much, so I had to close it. And hi. It's a nice cloudy day. I could not be happier.
XD beauties in the eye of the beholder, in it.
It's true. What are we doing today? Today's Saturday, so I've got a whole bunch of links. I've got a whole bunch of very cool news stories to talk about. As you can see in the title, we arrested a judge, and there's another judge. Zayla went to the Discord. You can do that right there. So Zayla left us a link in the Discord. I'm going to bring that up at the end of the stream. We'll talk about that as well, about another judge maybe being arrested. So the place is just that's what we do in America now, apparently. So we're going to look at that. We're going to have some ideas. We're going to have some feelings. You tell me what you think about it, and you tell me what you feel about it. And then we will make wild, insane predictions about the future and what might be coming in the future. So that'll be a whole thing. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. I am going to press a button right now. It's a very fun button, but actually it's a very sad button because it makes the lady robot stop talking. I did it. I'm so good at streaming, you guys. Finally kind of understand what I'm doing here. Hop in chat, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling. I love you. And we are going to turn that back on at the end of stream so that we can all feel things together, or if I play a video game, if I have the time for it today. I don't know if I'm going to have time for it today. I might not. But there is a lot going on, so we're going to get everything up and running. Starting with the big news. The big news. Very important. Let's go to the window capture. Click right there. This is Judge Dugan. She got arrested. Why did she get arrested? Well, she got arrested because she tried, maybe not, to help a immigrant avoid the Gestapo. Now, did she actually do that? We're not entirely sure, because it was, as we read right here, let's discuss the actual charges against Judge Hannah Dugan during the complaint against her. She sent the man in question into the public hallway where agents there to arrest him watched him walk by and did nothing. So she said, exit the courtroom right here. The guy went into a hallway, turned left and left the building. The agents may have just not known who he was and didn't see him leave. Maybe they were actually trying to get him the minute he stepped out of door A, but in fact he stepped out of door B, and that fooled them. An actual cloud, hi, thanks for coming. We're talking about arresting judges. All of which to say is the attempt to make this into something criminal on the part of the judge who sent him to the public hall where law enforcement was waiting requires a lot of reaching and a lot of work and a lot of pejorative statements designed to taint the complaint. Again, per the complaint, the judge sent him into the public hallway directly to the DEA agents waiting there for him. They just inexplicably chose not to act. This was their choice. The further attempts to sensationalize the matter by arresting Judge Dugan, she got arrested for sending someone through a door into a public hallway, instead of simply asking her to appear, was wholly unnecessary and certainly appears to have designed solely to intimidate. Very unfortunate. They could have asked her to come to a hearing. Being a judge, she goes to hearings all the damn time. They could have asked her to appear, but they did not. They literally arrested her. A discussion about Judge Dugan's forcefully and stern instructions to the man in question to go out the jury door. But it is not only a door to the jury room, it also exits to the public hallway. You know, the hallway where the law enforcement was waiting. Let's jump to the heart of the matter. The lead is buried. Per the complaint, the judge apparently sent the man to the public hallway where the law enforcement was waiting. You'll note that they sort of gloss over this part as if he miraculously appeared there. So, what is the issue? DEA agents, probably working with ICE, were in that courtroom, out in the hallway, waiting for this man to come out door A and arrest him. Judge Dugan sent him out door B, which led to the same hallway, in which point he turned and left peacefully. They're saying they arrested her for aiding and abetting this immigrant for avoiding the DEA. That's insane. You don't arrest judges for sending people outdoors into public hallways. If the DEA agents missed him, they missed him. It's not her fault. This is pretty insane. They are warning that arrested judges is just the beginning. The FBI arrested a judge in Milwaukee, that's her, for allegedly helping an undocumented immigrant evade arrest. She sent him into a hallway. Attorney General Pam Bondi, the Nazi, warned Friday that the arrest of the judge in Wisconsin was only the beginning in Donald Trump's law enforcement crackdown on the judiciary. Judge Hannah Dugan was arrested earlier in the day on charges of obstruction for supposedly misdirecting immigration and customs enforcement agents away from Eduardo Flores Ruiz, an immigrant attending a pre-trial hearing at the Milwaukee County Courthouse last week. When discussing the case, appearing... Can't talk today, man. So excited. When discussing the case during an appearance on Fox News, Bondi said that judges attempting to help immigrants evade arrest were deranged. We can listen to her say that right here. Here she is, Pam Bondi, the Nazi. Let's hear what she has to say.
Madam
What's
Attorney
happened to our judiciary is beyond me.
Yeah, so when the American public hears this and they think these were once upstanding people in their communities and their professions, and they put it all on the line for this, I mean, have you dug into their motive? Like, what inspired them to carry out these acts and harbor criminals?
Harbor criminals. He's not been proven. He's innocent because he has not been proven in a court of law to be a criminal. This Fox News anchor presumes guilty until proven innocent.
They're deranged is all I can think of. I cannot believe, I think some of these judges think they are beyond and above the law, and they are not. And we're sending a very strong message today. If you are harboring a fugitive, we don't care who you are. If you are helping hide one, if you are giving a TDA member guns, anyone who is illegally in this country, we will come after you and we will prosecute you.
Giving TDA members guns. None of that happened here. None of that is what we're talking about. She's just throwing things at the wall. I didn't have any of that on fucking screen. Christ. I'm so bad at being a streamer. I'm sorry, guys. But you're just listening anyway. I don't blame you. I am definitely second monitor stuff. Judges aren't above the law. Only the king can do that. Yeah, exactly. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of a story from history that I heard a long time ago about a little girl named Anne Frank. She wrote a diary. You've probably heard of it. Kind of a big deal. You got assigned to read it in 9th grade, and then you just kind of skimmed it and found it very boring, and then got a summary from the internet. I know you. I was there too. You got just enough of the gist to pass the quiz later that week. Well, I'll recap you on it. Your monitor won for me. I'm going to play games in a bit. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll recap you on the story. The main character, Anne, hides from Nazis because they want to send her to a concentration camp without a trial for committing no crimes. Judge Dugan in Wisconsin has just tried to help a person avoid ICE because they want to send him to a concentration camp with no trial for committing no crimes. The judge thinks that ought to be illegal. But Judge Dugan, even though she has the law on her side, doesn't have the power to back it up. We no longer live in a country governed by laws. We live in a country governed by power. And because of that, she was arrested by the FBI for obstruction. Anne Frank was also the victim in that book. And the people that were hiding her were considered heroes. I want you to think about that. Anne Frank, the very famous story that we all know, had people hiding illegal people from the bad guys. And that is what Pam Bondi is talking about here. Hiding people from the Gestapo is a crime.
For criminals.
They're deranged is all I can think of. I cannot believe, I think some of these judges think they are beyond and above the law, and they are not. And we're sending a very strong message today. If you are harboring a fugitive, we don't care who you are. If you are helping hide one, if you are giving a TDA.
If you are hiding Jews in your attic from the Gestapo, Pam Bondi will come and find you. That is the message she is sending. That is what they are telling the American people. If you hide people from the Gestapo, from the Nazi secret police, you will be prosecuted. It gets easier every day to compare her to a Nazi. It gets easier every day because they're doing Nazi shit. The people trying to find Anne Frank were trying to find her to send her to a camp. Those were the Nazis. ICE is doing Nazi shit. That's why I call them that. That's why I compare them to Nazis, because they're doing Nazi shit. People like me have been calling them Nazis online for many years. I've been calling them Nazis for years. But it gets more correct every day. every time they do things like this, I become more and more correct and on the money. If they're arresting judges now, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, every elected official, listen carefully. You need to be throwing everything you have at this problem, or else you are next. No one is safe. Visas have been revoked. Green cards are being revoked. Innocent people are being arrested illegally. And if a judge tries to help, they might get arrested too. Every single one of you needs to be in the Oval Office now. And don't leave. Every Democrat senator, get physically in there. Clog the hallways. Every House member, that's about 250 people, get in Trump's face. He would somewhat respect that. He loves lying into a TV camera. That's his whole thing. He loves doing it. It's his kink. He loves looking into a camera and saying things that aren't true. He doesn't see your snarky reply on Blue Sky. He does not watch the epic facts and logic beatdown that you give him on the Rachel Maddow show. He doesn't see it. No one does. All of you in the Oval Office now will have an effect that he cannot ignore. And what are they going to do? Try and arrest you? Good. Let them try. That's exactly the kind of thing that will make him go too far. Get arrested. Get put into handcuffs now, Chuck Schumer. Be the hero when the public might still be shocked by the image of you being arrested. Senators being arrested is shocking, and it's going to be less shocking next year. It'll be more shocking today than it will be a year. 2 years from now, nobody's even going to notice. Get arrested now, and you will thwart him. Get arrested 4 years from now after he's stolen the election, and it'll be too late. The people won't be surprised by Democratic senators being arrested 4 years from now. They'll be burned out by the ruined economy, the Greenland Wars, and the hundreds of judges that have already been arrested. They won't even notice when it's your turn. And make no mistake, you will get a turn. Do you want it to be now, when it will make a difference, or later, when it won't? Pam Bondi's clearly up Trump's ass like the rest of his cabinet. Rubio's facial expressions expose his hypocrisy. Sad, but it's all about money grab. Well, yeah, it is. Give me the money. The United States is grifting. Yeah, I agree. But there's also the fascism happening. Pam Bondi, I don't think she's in it for the money, man. I think she's in it for she's a true believer. She is a fascist in her heart, and she wants to be in charge of the law. She wants to make decisions based on her feelings. She wants to decide who is guilty and who is not. Based not on evidence, not on a court case, just based on her feelings. If she feels like you are guilty, then you are guilty. If she feels like you are innocent, then you are innocent. If she feels like Donald Trump is saying something, if she feels that anything he says is true and lawful and correct. She is a true believer. She is very, very dangerous. That's what I want. I want every Democratic senator in the Oval Office. I want them in the halls. I want them clogging up everything. I want every single Democrat member of the House to go to the White House now, today. Get in there. Stand in the way. That is the only thing that might work for the moment. Let's keep looking at these headlines. Let's look over here, see what else we got. So she's a fascist doing bad things. What do we got? According to them, ICE can enter anyone's home and abduct and deport them to a foreign prison indefinitely because the DOJ says they can ignore the 4th, 5th, and 15th Amendments. There's no due process or protections against illegal search and seizures. None of us are safe. ICE can now enter your home without a warrant to look for migrants, the DOJ memo says. She can, according to what she says, send agents into your house without a warrant, ignoring these amendments. They're the secret police. We have gone beyond anything that the Dems thought possible. We are in the area that Waldo told us we would be in if Donald Trump won again. And here it is. We don't live in a country dictated by laws anymore. We live in a country dictated by power, and they have the power to enter your home. And if the law can't save her, it can't save you. That's what I need everybody to understand. If they are willing to do this to these people, they're willing to do it to you. They're willing to do it to me. They're willing to do it to anyone who stands against them. What do we got? We've got, here's more about the stuff in scathing decision. Judge Briones of the Western District of Texas absolutely savaged the government over this case, tearing it to shreds hearsay evidence that this husband and wife were in Trinidad as completely and wholly unsubstantiated, and ordered their immediate release. This judge is next. Judge Briones, I hope you're ready to be arrested next, because it's coming for you. In this court's finding, he wrote, the respondent's response and testimony was replete with conclusions, declarations, and accusations completely and wholly unsubstantiated by anything meaningful in the record. This is cops and ICE agents saying, we heard from an anonymous source that this person was in a gang, so we're going to deport them forever. Respondents have been unable to convince the court by even a preponderance of the evidence, let alone clear and equivocal and convincing evidence required. The petitioners, Sanchez Garcia and Sanchez Puentes, are members of Trinidad. They can't prove it in court, and therefore has not shown that this court they are properly designated alien enemies under the AEA. Pursuant to TDA proclamation, the court ended its April 23rd, 25 habeas corpus hearing with the they don't tread on me crowd is like step on me harder, daddy. Yeah, exactly. When they post the Gadsden flag and talk about don't tread on me, they just mean it for guns. Honestly, man, they don't have anything else. A gun is their entire personality. The only hobby they have. It's the only interest they have. They're dying to use the damn thing. They're just waiting, praying that some motherfucker will try. Break into their trailer house. And take their guns. Honestly, it's the only valuable thing they have. The people who love the guns the most, I mean, really just live in squalor. And there's nothing to steal. Except for the guns themselves, which if you didn't have, no one would break into your house. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Please stop. But yeah, they are dying for someone to try and come in, and so they can shoot them, because it would be like the most interesting and important thing in their life, the most impressive and important day of their lives, you know? And they don't have anything else. If they had hobbies, if they could play video games, but they can't afford it, they spend all their money on guns. It's a whole thing. And I know I am creating a caricature here, but it's a fun caricature for me to do, so I'm gonna. What else do we have to talk about today? Let's talk about the ticking clock on American freedom. Let's see if I had anything more to say. Yeah, I've got some predictions to make towards the end of the stream, so we'll read some more headlines, we'll see some more stuff, and then I'll make some predictions, and I'll rant a little bit. A ticking clock on American freedom. It's later than you think, but it's not too late. Look around, take stock of where you are, and know this. Today, right now, and I mean right this second, you have the most power you'll ever have in the current fight against the authoritarianism in America. If this sounds dramatic to you, it should. Over the past 5 months, in many hours and many conversations with multiple people who have lived under dictators and autocrats, one message came through loud and clear. America, you are running out of time. People sometimes call the descent into authoritarianism a slide, but that makes it sound like a gradual and gentle. Maria Ressa, the journalist who earned the Nobel Peace Prize for her attempts to save freedom of expression in the Philippines, told me that what she experienced during the presidency of Rodrigo Duterte is now, with startling speed and remarkable similarity, playing out in the United States under Donald Trump. Her country's democratic struggles are highly instructive, and her message to me was this: authoritarian leaders topple democracy faster than you can imagine. If you wait to speak out against them, you've already lost. And then it goes on to talk, but I think it is an important point, and they give us the important bits. They put the lead up front. We need to be doing something. The Democrats in charge, the people in charge, everyone within the government needs to be standing in the way. Get in front of them. Billionaires do own guns, but there are very few of them, Trader Todd. I agree. There aren't that many of them. There are too many of them, but they shrink. They become smaller and smaller as time goes on. There are fewer of them. Let's see. So that is a good point. I agree. What have we got over here? Oh, that's just me cruising the thing. This was Kash Patel, the FBI director. The FBI arrested Judge Hannah Dugan out of Milwaukee on charge of obstruction after evidence of Judge Dugan obstructing an immigration arrest operation last week. We believe Judge Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse in Eduardo, Florida, Ruiz, allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest. Good. Fuck you, Kash Patel. You are a goddamn fascist, and I'm glad that this judge did what she did, even if it was malicious towards you. Good. You're the goddamn Gestapo. And I'm tired of pretending that you're not. We've tried to be peaceful. We've tried to be decent and give them the benefit of the doubt, but we are getting to the point where they've gone too far. They've crossed some Rubicons again and again and again, and they keep getting worse. I don't accidentally compare them to Nazis. I compare them to Nazis because they keep doing Nazi shit. And they want you to be afraid. Kash Patel, head of the FBI, wants you to be scared of him. He wants you to be afraid to stand up, afraid to speak out, afraid that you will be next. They want you off balance. That way you can't organize and coordinate. MAGA screams loudly about unimportant cultural issues that will never harm anyone. There is no harm in trans people in sports. Doesn't harm anyone. Really doesn't. I don't care what they say. It doesn't harm anyone. But so they'll scream loudly about pointless cultural issues, but then quietly pardon their loyal allies. They'll quietly embolden and empower the secret police to come and actually harm people. You know what's actually harmful? Being arrested can be quite harmful. Being a judge on the bench who then gets arrested for nonsense, for sending someone into a hallway. Let's see, we got any more things? We're going to read that later. We're going to see. Let's see, did the Democrats do anything? Congress erupts over FBI arrest of Wisconsin judge. I don't think they did. I haven't read this, but I suspect that all they've done is complain. Democratic lawmakers reacted with ferocity, and some Republicans with cheers, to the Friday arrest of Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan for allegedly helping an undocumented defendant avoid arrest by ICE agents. To Democrats, the arrest marks a significant escalation of Trump's efforts to consolidate power and use federal law enforcement to cross legal obstacles to his agenda. Did they do anything? It is remarkable that the administration would dare to start arresting state court judges, said Jamie Raskin. It's a whole new descent into government chaos. Are you going to do anything? The Trump administration, again, is breaking norms in how it's dealing with the immigration, the legal system, and normalcy. This is the stuff I expect from third world countries, said Mark Pocan. Are you going to do anything? Greg Landsman said they arrested a judge. They can no longer claim to be the party of law and order. This will have to be red line. This will have to be a red line for congressional Republicans. Unbelievable. Will you do anything? The answer is probably no. They won't do anything. They'll complain. They'll talk loudly into a camera, which is what I'm doing. I agree. But I don't live in Washington, D.C. I'm not an elected official. You, Mr. Raskin, go to the Oval Office and sit there until Pam Bondi is removed. Don't leave. Every single time someone walks in there, tell them to remove Pam Bondi. Every single time. Every single bit of House congressional business needs to be stopped until Pam Bondi is removed. Do not vote on anything. Disrupt every single thing that happens. Disrupt every meeting. Disrupt every vote. Disrupt every single House committee with one Goal, remove Pam Bondi. Take every single one of your friends to the White House, every single one of the Democratic people, senators, and all the House members. Go to the White House. Do not leave until Pam Bondi is removed. Do not show up anywhere else. They've got bathrooms. They've got snack bars. They've got food in there. Send out somebody out on a snack run. You can do it. Go there and don't leave. That is a protest. That is action that they could be taking, but they won't because they're scared. They are afraid that they will be next. They are worried that they will be the people he focuses on next. And that should be their goal. That should be their point. If these people had balls, they would be in Donald Trump's face. But they're scared. They didn't sign up to be a leader. Most of the Dems aren't leaders. They're followers. They follow the money. They follow the lobbyists. They follow where the votes go. They follow what the wind. They follow the wind. If people are moving to the right, they'll move to the right so they can get more votes. They follow where the voters are. They go to where the Joe Rogan viewers want them to be. They're not leaders. They're followers. We need to stop following followers. We need to start following leaders. You see AOC and Bernie leading, telling you what ought to be going on, telling you that the things are wrong, doing rallies and getting support and getting attention. The rest of the Dems don't want to do that because they don't want to be leaders. They just wanted to get an easy cake job where they get to look into a camera and tell you about their feelings all the time. Funnily enough, the fact that they might be next on the list should embolden them. Yeah, you think so. At least a little to protest and disrupt the current administration. You'd think that. But they don't think it's possible. These Democratic followers who are in charge don't think that's possible, Valor. They don't think that this will happen to them because it can't happen to them. It's illegal. And that's the problem. We are no longer a country of laws. We're a country of power. And Donald Trump has the power to arrest you. He will if he wants to. They don't think it can happen to them. They don't think that it's possible because people follow the rules. People follow the laws. Nah, man, not anymore. The law can't save Abrego Garcia. It can't save them. It won't save Raskin when they come for him. It won't save me when they come for me. It won't save you when they come for you. Let's see, we've got, okay, something else over here. And, oh, okay, so this is a different judge. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but Zayla from the, went to the Discord, which you can do. You can go to the Discord anytime you want. It's up all the time. And you can leave links. And then I will take those links and I'll put them up on the screen and we'll all feel them together. This is a different judge being arrested for harboring Venezuelan gang members. So we're going to read this. I have not read this. I do not know what it says. A former judge responds to allegations of harboring Venezuelan gang members. Joel Cano denies knowledge of criminal ties, resigns from bench amid investigation. Former Dona Ana County magistrate judge is responding to allegations that he knowingly allowed members of a Venezuelan gang to live on his property, calling the claim sensationalism at the highest possible level. Joel Cano, who resigned from his position in March, is now permanently barred from serving as a judge in New Mexico. Okay. The controversy began late February when the Homeland Security investigations arrested 3 Venezuelan nationals, including Christian Ortega Lopez, during a raid on Cano's property. So they raided the property and found this supposed alleged Venezuelan national. During a raid on Cano's property, federal investigators claimed the men were well-known members of the Tren de Aragua gang. This, as we saw with the Texas attorney or Texas judge, where was it? Usually has very little evidence. Hearsay suggests that people are part of Tren de Aragua. So we'll find out if this is the same thing. It might be, it might not. Maybe they are. I don't know. A criminal organization. Yep. Okay. According to the court documents, the men had been living in a small guest house or casita on Cano's property. Ortega Lopez told investigators they had initially performed handyman work for Cano and his wife before being allowed to move in after being evicted from their apartment. So he kept them there and he employed them. This can go a couple of different ways. The arrests drew further scrutiny when social media posts emerged showing Ortega Lopez holding firearms with Cano visible in some of the images. Although Cano has not been criminally charged, the New Mexico Judicial Standards Commission launched an investigation into alleged willful misconduct. I would want to see those photos. Cano's resignation from the bench halted any formal disciplinary hearings. Well, that does kind of suggest that he knew he was doing things wrong. But in the 23-page letter submitted to the New Mexico Supreme Court, he denied any wrongdoing and said he was unaware of the men's alleged gang ties. Let me be as crystal clear as possible, he wrote. The very first time I ever heard that the boys could possibly have any association with Tren de Aragua was when I was informed by the agents on the day of the raid. Cano referred to the three men repeatedly as the boys in his letter and defended his position to allow them to stay on his property. He said they had previously interacted with Border Patrol and HSI without any issues, and that their immigration paperwork led him to believe that they were not subject to removal. So he's got some paperwork saying that they should be okay. And he has them living on his property doing work for him. It's kind of like a rent situation. He owns the land and he's renting it to these people. That's probably legal. Their papers stated that the upper right-hand corner, this person is not subject to removal. They each had specific court date regarding their asylum hearings. He also emphasized that he would never put his family in risk if they had suspected any danger. He has grandkids that are age 15, 8, and 6. There's no way that I would have allowed my grandkids to have contact with the boys if I had sensed any danger. Okay, so Judicial Standards Commission also alleged that Cano provided the men with firearms. In response, Cano denied giving them access to weapons, referencing a family outing to a shooting range. I did not take a single firearm to the range. I took no ammunition to the range either. My wife and I only went as spectators. He's not been charged with any crimes. Okay, so I'm going to watch this.
Former Doña Ana County Magistrate Judge now responding to accusations that he knowingly allowed members of a Venezuelan gang live on his property.
Jason McNabb has a letter where the former judge calls this sensationalism at the highest possible level.
Homeland Security investigators arrested this man, Christian Ortega Lopez, for being in the United States illegally since December of 2023 and for possessing a firearm. Court documents say he and two other men were living in a casita on the property of now former magistrate judge Joel Cano. In those documents, Lopez told investigators he and the other two men did handyman jobs for Cano and his wife. The couple eventually let them live there after they were evicted from their apartment. The arrest of all three men happened in late February during a raid of Cano's property, with Homeland Security investigators claiming the men were, quote, well-known members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Social media posts from Lopez included in court documents showed Lopez holding guns with Cano present in some of the pictures. The judicial...
Okay, so holding guns, and in a different picture, this guy is there. So it wasn't holding a gun with this guy. So again, language matters and it's tricky. There he is, looking very scary at what looks like a shooting range. Maybe it's an official shooting range. Maybe he's just out in the boonies having a good time. I don't know. But it's
guns with Cano present in some of the pictures. The Judicial Standards Commission launched an investigation into Cano shortly after the arrest.
If Cano was in a photo that looks like this, if Cano is in a photo that looks like this, then okay, maybe there's something more to pay attention to. So was this just him being nice? Was this another Anne Frank situation where he thought, hey, I'll hire these guys, they'll do some work for me, and then they won't get deported because I'm a good guy? Was he building his own little army? Is he a secret mafia judge for Tren de Aragua? All of this is possible. I'm not choosing a side yet. The organized crime does often pay off judges and shit like that. The Italian mafia used to do it back a long time ago, and you get a polite judge who is in on the scheme. They're on the take. They go easy on the organized crime mafia members. That's a thing. Could that be happening here? Yes. Has it been proven? No. Did he give up and stop the what's the word they used? He quit his job to prevent the commission from moving forward. His resignation from the bench halted formal disciplinary hearings, so he resigned so that he wouldn't get disciplined. That's often a thing that happens when you're guilty. I'm not saying it proves his guilt. It's just a suggestion. I mean, that Matt Gaetz did the same thing. The House was going to punish Matt Gaetz for the actions that he took, so he resigned and they quit. And so they couldn't do that. And then they stopped the punishment. If you quit your job, they're not going to punish you at work. So maybe that's what's going on. Maybe it's not. Maybe he was trying to build his own little army. Maybe he was trying to build his own little army. We don't live in a country of power, of laws anymore, so we have to live in a country of power. Maybe he saw some power. He's like, hey, I have these 3 guys live on my house, carry guns, and shoot anybody I want them to, because that's what we live in now. Mad Max territory, where laws don't mean anything anymore. And so he controls the law and can say it's legal, it's fine, and he can just point them at his enemies, maybe, if we're being completely uncharitable and giving him no benefit of the doubt. He is trying to build his own Venezuelan army. Or he's being the good guys from the Anne Frank novel, letting these people live there, letting them hide from the fucking Gestapo. Could go either way. I could see that being one or the other. So where will this lead? Future prediction time. I can hear you asking, what's next? It's tough to say. Kind of depends on how far the Dems go and how fast all the players move. If the Dems do the thing that I've suggested and flood the White House with themselves and their own bodies, then this could slow down. They could get rid of Pam Bondi, talk about how awful she is. Donald Trump would have to either arrest all the people in the White House, all the senators and the House members in the White House, or he would have to give them something to make them go away, which is getting rid of Pam Bondi. If they move fast, that could happen. If they don't, and I don't think they will just complain and they will whine and they will cry and they will write sternly worded letters and they'll go on Rachel Maddow and talk about how illegal it is. The normies won't see it. The right won't see it. Donald Trump won't know what happened. They'll just keep doing what they're doing. I want the Dems to stop all government business until Pam Bondi is removed. Stop all the votes, stop all the Senate meetings, stop all the House events. And if there is something, shout it down, calling for her removal. Do not say anything anywhere inside the government except get rid of Pam Bondi. She probably has to be impeached, but she could be fired by the president, I think. But maybe she could be impeached. I'm not sure. So what is going to happen in the future for the public? Well, if more judges start if the Dems don't move fast, more judges will get arrested. Pam Bondi has said she wants to arrest more judges. We will get ICE raids to continue. People will get in the way. Violence will happen. They will be harmed. We saw some people on Wednesday try to put their physical body in between the immigrant and the ICE agents. Someone's going to get hurt, which will lead to more activism, which will lead to more raids, more protests, which will be led by people being on camera, taking a leadership role, who then get marked by ICE and the FBI as the enemy, who then get raided. And then people will try and stop those raids. And those raids will harm people. And there will be more activists born from that. And then more targeted violence will happen. The protests will turn more active and more violent. More targeted violence will happen, like we saw at the Tesla dealerships. Both sides will be accelerating. More raids, more activists, more raids, more activists, until something explodes. The charges against a judge like Dugan and activists who are simply trying to use their First Amendment rights won't stand up in a federal court. So the Trump admin, led by Pam Bondi, the Nazi, will do everything they can to get that trial in front of a friendly, loyal MAGA judge. And if they can't, they'll arrest or detain or simply foul up the process for any judge that isn't a part of MAGA. Skip over their court, change the venue, say, no, this has to go to this judge, and then they'll just do it. They don't care what's legal anymore. You won't be able to stop them. Maybe they'll even set up some extrajudicial courts, some outside the regular system, you see. I really do think we are only a few months away from Pam Bondi propping up kangaroo courts outside the bounds of established law. They will find a judge, they will find a room that looks official, they'll put him in his robe, and he will just bring people in outside the normal law, outside the normal proceedings, and they will just do whatever the fuck they feel like. It won't matter that this isn't an official judge, this isn't an official proceeding, that this is outside the Constitution. They won't care. If the Democrats do nothing, this is where we are headed. Stood up kangaroo court judges who will just say it's illegal, and then the power to bring you in will be used by Pam Bondi, Donald Trump. They will use the power to bring you in to an unofficial court and give these people and the other judges and myself and you sentences for thought crimes. They will be entirely extra constitutional, outside the constitutional bounds, outside the normal law. It will be illegal, but it won't matter because they will just do it anyway, and you can't stop them. And then Raskin and Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer will go to the camera and tell you that it's illegal and that it's bad and it's wrong, and they'll skeet the blue sky tweets. That's what they're called, skeets. They will just complain on Blue Sky about how illegal it is, and then they will go on to the Fox, not on Fox. They'll go on to Morning Joe, and they'll say that this is illegal and that the president can't do it, and then they'll go on to the nighttime shows on MSNBC and say how this is illegal and they can't do it, and they'll go home to sleep, and then it will be their turn, and then they will get blackbagged. This will probably happen closer to the midterm elections. And if I'm a few minutes behind, but you alluded to this, but maybe they're being a bit hypocrite, and I say the most respectful way, but I think you're fantastic. But instead of blaming them for not taking any actions, you should be calling all of us to take action. So we instead of they. And I dig it. I did go to one of the hands-off protests, but at the moment, peaceful protests aren't going to work. They're not. Peaceful protests are not going to work. Peaceful protests will not prevent the judge being put in handcuffs and taken away. Peaceful protest might literally stop them from arresting individual people, but it takes a lot of people to do that. I don't get to go to the White House. I've never been there. Chuck Schumer has. Chuck Schumer knows the president. Chuck Schumer can, in fact, get into the Oval Office legally and without being shot at. If I try and get in there, they start shooting at me. If you try and get in there, they'll arrest you. Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, every single one of the senators needs to go to the White House now. Sit there and not leave until Pam Bondi is removed. Yes, they could do that. Also, I'm trying to get away from the saying Democrats and instead saying non-Republicans. By saying Democrats, you implying that that you are not one of them. By saying Democrats and implying that you are not one of them, I get you. I think Cloud would agree. Yeah. At the moment, Chuck Schumer being arrested would be a much bigger story than Waldo being arrested. Much bigger story than you being arrested. If I tried to do a protest and got arrested, they'll just blame the protesters. They'll call me Antifa. They'll call me a terrorist. They'll call me all these things. Chuck Schumer getting arrested for a protest is a much bigger deal. It's a much bigger issue. A raid on an immigrant and picking up 4 people who aren't supposed to be here anyway, according to the conservatives, and are illegal Tren de Aragua criminals, isn't going to hurt the conservatives' feelings. It's not going to bother the normies. The normies in the middle, who are a very large group of people who just don't pay much attention, don't think that deporting criminals is a bad idea. You have to get down into the weeds to find out they're not actually criminals, and that the evidence against them is invented wholly by the law enforcement people, like it was for Abrego Garcia. His evidence against him was invented by the cops, from what I've seen. Now, that could be proven incorrect, and it should have been in front of a judge in a fucking court of law, but we skipped those steps, which means I get to skip to the end, too. He's been deported. He's been imprisoned, put into a concentration camp illegally. They didn't even deport him. They didn't deport him. Deportation means they pick you up and put you in your home country and leave you there to fend for yourself. They didn't do that. They put him in a gulag. They put him in a jail with no sentence, no judgment, no expectation of ever leaving. He's not there on a 4-year sentence. They didn't tell him how long he's there. He doesn't know. So it might be a legitimate discussion. It detracts from the main point of our current conversation should be shifting blame away from ourselves and opening the door for conversations about how corrupt the Democratic Party might be. They're just wieners. Corrupt, yes. They like their jobs. They like their money. But are they going to do anything? I'm in a position to talk. I'm in a position to go to a protest in my local area. I am not a leader of the Democratic Party. I am not paid to be a leader in the Democratic Party. Chuck Schumer makes lots of money, more money than I've got, to be in charge. And he is failing. He is not doing a good job. He is not leading. He is not leading a charge. He's not doing the thing he's supposed to do. He's not protecting us. He's not holding Trump accountable. He is being a wiener. And we don't need wieners. We need leaders. He's a follower, and I'm tired of following followers. He can get into the White House. He can get into the White House. He can get meetings with the president. He knows the people. He is allowed within those areas, you know? I'm not. I'm not allowed to go into the Oval Office. He is. He's been there. I've seen photos of him being in there. He can get in there. If 50 senators went to the White House and walked in, it would be more powerful than 100,000 people standing in the streets of a West Coast city. I'm sorry. It would. 50 senators in the White House would be far more powerful than 100,000 people standing in the road in Los Angeles. Los Angeles has shit traffic anyway. You might not even notice. So that's why I'm saying they need to do this. They could do this, but they're scared, and this would probably solve the problem, I think. So, future predictions continue. What are we going to think? The midterms are going to come up. It's already 2025. The midterms are going to happen at the end of 2026. What happens at the midterms if Pam Bondi is still in charge and the Dems have done nothing or just complained on the TV? Donald Trump and his people in charge will break the laws. They will cheat at the election, and any complaint you have will be put in front of the MAGA faithful judges. Complaints about the election are put in front of judges now. That's why it's always worked. The people who, when you don't think an election happened fairly, you put in a lawsuit. That lawsuit goes to a judge, and the judge makes the decision. Pam Bondi's going to do every damn thing she can, even illegally, to put those things in front of MAGA faithful judges. Those MAGA faithful judges will judge in favor of Donald Trump every time, because they don't care about the law, they don't care about the rules, they don't care about the Constitution. They want power, they want the authority, and they want to be correct. So they will cheat, and if that happens, the Dems will again complain. They'll look into the camera. They'll put out their blue sky tweets, their skeets, saying that the judge was wrong, that the rule of law has gone away, that this is anti-constitutional. They'll go on to Morning Joe, like I said. They'll go on to Lawrence O'Donnell, and they'll do epic factual beatdowns of Donald Trump and the illegal things that he's doing, and nothing will change. Nothing will happen. They need to take some action. They need to gum up the works. They need to shut down the entire Congress. They need to stop doing any votes for anything, shut down every committee meeting until one thing is done. The Pam Bondi is removed. This will be a big blow. This will be a big thing that isn't impeachment. People in the middle, the normies, don't know who Pam Bondi is. They will just see that she did something wrong, and then they will assume that the Dems really came out in force to get rid of something that was wrong. And that will slow Donald Trump's fascist roll. I would like to slow the fascist roll, please. But yeah, if we get to the midterms and nothing has happened, they will cheat. They will gerrymander. They will throw out legitimate votes. They will kick people off the rolls. They will be sticklers for any woman that's ever changed her name and say, no, you're not allowed to vote. Your mom won't be allowed to vote because her birth certificate says one name and her driver's license says a different name, so they won't let her vote. That's what's going to happen. Your mom won't be able to vote. It'll be sad. I'm sorry that that's going to happen, but that's what they're going to do. The Republicans will win. Everybody will complain, and then they will make things worse. They will get even more fashy. They will throw things out, and then maybe, and this is a thought that I've had, hypothetical, imaginary, House Representative Smith in the 32nd district of fucking Kansas or something, blue district, has actually lost, and he will not be returning to the House of Representatives because they cheated. He tweets about how they cheat. He skeets about how they cheat. He goes on Rachel Maddow, tells everybody they cheated, and the facts are on his side. The evidence is there. Representative Smith has been cheated. He puts in a lawsuit. The judge is a MAGA faithful. The lawsuit gets dismissed. Representative Smith then goes to the White House because he's finally being harmed by the fascist by the fascist government. He's now been affected, so it bothers him. So he goes to the White House. They arrest him and they put him in jail because he lost. According to the MAGA judge, according to Pam Bondi, he's the loser. According to Donald Trump, he's the loser, even though he got more votes and all the evidence suggested that he won. And he will be put in jail. And that'll be a big deal. It'll be just like today. I'll talk about it and how we're sliding towards fascism again and again and again. And they're getting more fascist, and now they're arresting the representatives. And Chuck Schumer will possibly do nothing. Hakeem Jeffries will look into the camera and tell you how this is wrong. And then go home for the day. And then tell you that it is a bad thing and it makes us look bad and it's wrong and it's illegal. Then he'll go home. Until they come for him. At which point he will demand that you storm the White House to protect him. He could be storming the White House right now to protect you, but he's not. Hakeem Jeffries should be storming the White House now to protect us. But when he gets arrested and thrown into the gulag, he will demand that we storm the White House to protect him. Because they have this shit backwards. The leaders of the Democratic Party have it backward. They need to be getting arrested to prove that Donald Trump is a fascist, not us being arrested to prove that he's a fascist. We already know. Do something. Democrats, do something that gets you into the news, that gets you noticed. Will this lead to more violence? Probably. Odds are, I don't think this resolves itself without some violence. I don't think it can resolve itself without some violence. If we see solid evidence that they cheated at the midterms and they cheat at the next election too, there's no way to avoid the violence. There is a small chance, a small, minuscule way to get out of this nonviolently. It's voting, but they've already corrupted the vote. Voting is the first way to get out of it nonviolently, and Donald Trump has cheated at the vote in this scenario. I suspect that they will very much cheat very hard in the 26 and the 28 elections. So if that happens, nonviolence, actual violence breaks out. What is the nonviolent way to get out of this other than voting? It's a long shot, but the people in the government need to say no. The FBI agents need to stand up to their very unqualified boss, Kash Patel, and tell him no. No, I will not harm the American people. No, I will not harm our system of government. No, I will not arrest a judge for your political gain. I will not comply with your illegal orders. And then don't what's that word? Where you quit. Resign. Don't resign at that point. Go back to your desk and wait for them to fire you. Keep doing your job until they fire you, because that distracts them. If you resign and leave, they'll just do the thing anyway. They'll find somebody who will do it. Don't resign. Just be in the way. Say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this work. This is important. You're telling me to do something illegal. I'm not going to do that. Here's the legal thing that I am going to do. Then go do that. And that requires Kash Patel to now draft up a memo firing you, talk to the HR people, fire you, get rid of you, and find someone else to do it. It slows them down. You're slowing the process. So the people that desire power need to give it up. Ain't happening. Yeah, I know. That's why I said it was a slim chance. Traitor Todd. I agree with you. It's a very slim chance that the people that's what worries me, is that the people in the FBI right now are all MAGA faithful. Anyone who wasn't MAGA faithful quit or got fired already, quietly, in the background when we weren't looking. And now they just have all the law enforcement, all the power. And they will do exactly as Pam Bondi, the Nazi, tells them to do. At which point, violence is inevitable. It will happen. Where? I can't exactly say, but it will happen. So, that I think is all of that. That makes for a pretty good segment. I'm going to turn that into a YouTube video. I think it's going to go well. If you would like to watch it, you can do so on YouTube. That's not a YouTube link. There's a YouTube link. Go on over there. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. Watch old videos. Click the thumbs up button. Break the thumbs up button. Smash the bell. Annihilate the subscribe button. And then call someone a slur in the comments, because the YouTube algorithm is powered by hatred, and any hatred you throw around on YouTube, either at someone else or at me, makes me go up in the numbers. It really does. What is this? Read the full transcript of Donald Trump's 100 Days interview with Time. So this is real dumb, and it's filled with stupid. He rambles on incoherently because he's an idiot. Let's see if there's any good things here. I think the important bit was about the 9-0. You can read the whole thing at Time. It's very good, and it just shows that he's an idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about. But I think the important bit was the 9-0 Supreme Court decision, because he was asked about that. And I think it proves that they're lying to him and just putting shit in front of him that he doesn't read and he just signs. And then they kiss his ass and make him feel good. He's an idiot king who doesn't know what's going on. I could have found this earlier before I got started. Okay. So the questioner, the interviewer, says the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that you have to bring back Kilmar Abrego Garcia. You haven't done so. Aren't you disobeying the Supreme Court? Donald Trump says, well, that's not what my people told me. They didn't say it was. They said it was. The 9-0 was something entirely different. Let me get the ruling, the quote from the ruling. The order properly requires the government to facilitate Abrego Garcia's release from custody in El Salvador. Are you facilitating a release? I leave that to my lawyers. I give them no instructions. They feel that the order said something very much different from what you're saying, but I leave that to my lawyers. If they want, and that would be the Attorney General of the United States and the people that represent the country. I don't make that decision. Have you asked President Bukele to return him? I haven't. He said he wouldn't. Did you ask him? But I haven't asked him positively, but he said he wouldn't. But if you haven't asked him, then how are you facilitating his release? Well, because I haven't been asked to ask him by my attorneys. Nobody asked me to ask him that question except you. People who are telling him things or telling him lies. Stephen Miller, just the other day on camera, said that the 9-0 ruling was in their favor. It wasn't. The 9-0 Supreme Court ruling was against Donald Trump. But Stephen Miller looked into Trump's eyes and said, they agree with you. 9-0. Mr. President, they agree with you. You're doing everything right. And because he's a moron who has bad brains, he doesn't know that he's being lied to. The people who say the nice things to him are clearly the ones who are correct. The people who disagree with him, you don't have to listen to them because they disagree with you. And he can't read. He can't read, and he doesn't read because it would require him to put on glasses. I suspect that's a conspiracy theory that I think I've had for a while. Anyone at his age needs reading glasses, but he doesn't have any, does he? That's because he doesn't want to put them on, because he would look old. He would look stupid. He would look silly in his mind. Image is all that matters to him, which is why he paints his face fucking orange. So he won't wear the glasses, which means he can't see anything that's on a page in front of him, which means somebody just reads it to him, and he is misinformed by the people around him. Stephen Miller, the Nazi, knows this. And so he just tells Donald Trump what he wants him to hear so that he can direct him like a weapon at the things that Stephen Miller hates. He hates immigrants. He hates brown people. He hates anybody that isn't a straight white cis man. So he just tells Donald Trump what he needs to hear to point his anger and hatred towards them. So Stephen Miller tells Donald Trump that the 9-0 ruling was in his favor. And then when the reporters ask him about it, he's lost, confused. He lives in a fantasy world built by fascists. He lives in an imaginary bubble where everything he said is correct, and he doesn't comprehend, he can't even grasp why the reporters say the opposite of the things that he has been told. They lie to him constantly. I don't think he's an innocent victim in this. He is also benefiting them. But if you hire a Nazi, it's your fault. If I hired a Nazi to mow my grass, I'm fucking responsible for that. If I hired somebody at work who turned out to be a raging neo-Nazi, that's my fault. If you hire Stephen Miller and then he lies to you, that's your fault. You don't get to avoid responsibility by saying, I thought the 9-0 decision was in my favor because Stephen Miller, the Nazi liar, told me that it was. You don't get to dodge that responsibility. Interesting how one of the most powerful people in the world suddenly becomes uninformed, powerless with his hands tied as soon as he's asked questions about accountability questions. Yeah, yet his MAGA idiots still believe his lies. Right, because it makes them feel good. He says the things that make them feel good. The reality is being taken care of by Pam Bondi and Stephen Miller, the Nazis. They effectuate the hatred that they have and hide behind him, hide behind Donald Trump, because the people, the MAGA faithful, still love him. They feel good about him. They hear him speak and think he's awesome, because he appeals to their feelings. He makes them appreciate the things he's doing because they think he is just doing what they want. He says tariffs are going to be paid by China. They believe it. It's not how tariffs work, but he says it and they like it. He says that there are millions of illegal people. It's not true. There are a lot of undocumented people, but most of them are just workers. A very, very small percentage of them are actual criminals. And they believe it. He says 4 million illegal people voted for Hillary in 2016. They didn't. It's not true. There's no evidence, but they feel like it's true. The point about hiring Nazis is going to be flipped on you, regardless of the former judge that hired supposed Trent Arriaga. Maybe. You think they'll flip that on me and say that he is responsible for hiring them at Trent Arriaga? He is. I would say so, yes. If he's had these people doing work for him and he didn't look into them and he didn't find out that they were former gang members, then maybe he's responsible for them committing any crimes while he was employing them. Did they commit any crimes while they were employed with him? Did they actually have access to these guns? If they did, then that's a problem, and he needs to be held responsible for it. If they didn't commit any crimes, it's not illegal to be in a gang. It's not illegal to have tattoos. It's not illegal to have access to firearms. If you do crimes with the gang, if you cover for crimes that the gang did, if you perpetrate crimes with the gang, that's a crime and can be held against you. But just being in the gang isn't illegal. They say it is. They talk about how you were hanging around with this person and that person committed a crime. You have a tattoo similar to that person. That makes you a criminal too. But that's just profiling. That's bullshit. If you're put in front of a judge, an actual judge, with actual evidence in court, you can get off because you didn't commit any crimes. If you don't commit any crimes, you don't go to jail if the system is working properly. That's why I'm upset by the fact that Abrego Garcia did not have legal representation. He did not have his day in court. He did not have the due process. That process could have found him guilty. Maybe it would find him guilty of a crime. Then he should be dealt with appropriately, deported, and maybe put into a jail. But we didn't do any of that. We skipped all that shit and just sent him straight to the gulag, straight to the concentration camp. So let's see. Is there anything else to talk about in the news today? Hey, here we go. RFK Jr. is set to launch a disease registry tracking autistic people. Can we get a gun registry in this country? No. Can we get an autistic registry? Yes, apparently. You can register all the autistic people. He's going to use private medical records to find out who and who isn't an autist, and then round them up and throw them in a camp. He's already discussed that too, because that's the part of the fascism that we're in right now, sending people to camps, separating the people by ability, skin color, racial background, and putting you in the right place. And for the autistics, we're going to put them into, according to RFK Jr., a work camp where they touch grass and shovel hay and work with animals and carry heavy things on the farm, because he thinks that will cure them, because he's a moron and an idiot and doesn't know what he's talking about and a conspiracy theorist. He's going to throw them on, he's going to send them to the farm to work, and that work will make them free, according to him, I think. Where have I heard that before? Okay, so that's all for the news for today. Let's go. Let's play Castlevania. You guys, I'm going to turn the lady back on. You tell me what you think is going to happen in the future. You tell me what you think will happen with the camps, if that's going to happen at all. Go on over to the Twitch chat, and the lovely robot lady will read your stuff out loud. And I can see chat over here on my second screen, so if you are not in Twitch chat, that's okay. I will still read your stuff out loud while we play a video game. Thanks for the news in the fields, KVP. Yeah, thanks for coming. Tell a friend to come watch the Waldo stream. That would make my life much better. If you had a friend, use your Waldo points, KVP, to buy a friend, then tell them to watch the Waldo stream. It'll be a good time. Start up my duck station. Where'd you go? It's your start up my game. Oh no, KVP, you lost your points. That's sad. And then we're going to play Castlevania for a few minutes. I might be able to beat it today. I've got all the parts. Oh no, KVP, you lost more points. Well, chat some more. Chat more. Get more points. Spend those points to earn friends. Once you have more friends, then tell them to watch the Waldo streams. And then once more people are watching, then we'll have more friends to talk to. It's a whole thing. Where's my controller? There we go. All right. Do you have any suggestions on what games to play in the future? Hit me up with that too. All right, where's the... There it is.
Brew, if only the word politics itself wasn't so poisoned by the rightful feeling of disgust, then maybe my friend would actually tune in sometimes. Blue has one giggle.
Yeah, that is a thing. The word politics has even been poisoned by the people who don't like anything, by the bad guys. Conservatives often use the word political incorrectly, you know? It's a little loud in my ears. Let me turn it down a little bit. Yeah, the word political has been poisoned by bad people who want you to feel bad. They call everything political that they don't like. And what they mean when they say that's being political is that it's just not their idea of what ought to be. Wrong button. There we go. Fart cloud.
They think the movie is political if it's not about only cisgendered straight people.
Right. The political just means a gay person on screen. That's what their political means. Or a gay marriage. You know, that's political. But their overwhelming control of all media, that's not political. You know, Fox News isn't political, you see? That's just normal. That's why you have to invent words like cisgender, because they would say normal. And you're like, no, man, like, being trans can be normal. If we wanted to. We're cheesing. We're fart cloud and we're stinking it up. Because this is a heart of the castle filled with imps. I hate those little imps. We're going to go here, and then we're going to go to the clock room, which is on the far side. Okay, yeah. Then we're going to beat the game. Because we've got all the parts of Vlad, don't we? There's 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
No Alucard shield cheese?
Not unless we die and need to do a better job. We will cheese if we need to cheese, but not until then. Come on. There we go. I might equip the Heaven Sword because I like it better. It's just fun. Oops, I forgot. Fucking imps. See, I hate the imps. That's what they do. How efficient that is. Just saying. What do you guys think? Will we get more judges picked up? Will we get more people put in jail? Are they coming for the protesters next? I mean, they're already coming for the Gaza protesters. Are they coming for the regular protesters? Who are they coming for next? Who's next? What's going to happen? Yeah, it is an amazing soundtrack. I agree. So, yeah. Am I going the right way? No, I'm not. And I missed a room down there. How did I miss a room? Shouldn't have gone through this way at all. Should have gone, oops, down. Probably just a safe spot, but we're going to double check. then we'll try to beat the game.
Definitely gonna try to be coming for protesters of all kinds. Except of course the Nazi protesters, because this is America too.
That makes some sense too. The Proud Boys, they're not gonna have, the FBI's not gonna have time to mess with the Proud Boys. They've got too many Antifas to chase down. Okay, so we're gonna go to the right and then down. How did I go such the wrong way? This place is a maze. Who builds a castle like this, honestly? Because I went up. So down. Okay. Will the Democrats do anything? Do you think they could do a thing? Could somebody do something? Is there anything that I haven't thought of? Will the 50 senators in the White House work? What do you guys think? Will it do any good? Yeah, we got this. Keep going left. Nope. Why do I keep hitting the candles? I mean, honestly. And I know I need hearts. How many maximum hearts do I have? 302, so I'm missing quite a few. Should keep hitting the candles. Every time I do, I get stupid, bad weapons, vain weapons. There's a hammer, that's nice. And we're going to cheese our way through here, too, because I am not. But all these turds. Look at them. They're so mean. All right. Do-do-do-do. It's 13 o'clock. Time to kill Dracula. Probably. Unless I fail.
I think the only ones who are active seemingly even the right way are Sanders and Cortez. I don't know if the Dems could ever get over their love of money or at least let it go so that their love of people can take rightful priority.
Yeah, I think you're right. AOC and Bernie are doing the leadership, and I would like for the rest to do some leadership. That's why I consider what Schumer does and what Hakeem Jeffries has been doing is followership, not leadership. Just following.
You have done well in making it this far.
Oh my.
I would expect no less from the son of our master.
So you are the one who was controlling Belmont.
Traitor/sheep behavior.
Right.
I am the dark priest called Shaft.
Shaft.
This
Shut your
world
mouth.
must be cleansed in the forge of chaos.
Why did you make Belmont lord of this castle?
For centuries, vampire hunters have defeated evil with holy power.
As my two gasp shaft, you say?
If two
Right.
vampire hunters were to fight each other,
But Belmont's power is supreme among vampire hunters. None other could defeat him.
exactly. That's why I removed him as a threat, by making him into lord of this castle.
But your plan has failed.
Has it indeed? We'll see what happens after I destroy your weak human side.
Oh no. Who would have thought that this would lead to violence? Who could have imagined? Fart cloud. Oh no, he's immune to fart clouds. The strategy's gone out the window. Oh!
You claim to love the darkness. Go then and dwell there for all eternity.
But my goal is achieved. Count Dracula has come to purify this corrupt world with the searing flames of chaos.
So no, it's a vampire.
Father.
Well met, my son. It's been a long time.
I was hoping we would not see each other again. I can't allow you to leave here, Father.
You have ever been the ally of humans. Have you forgotten what they did to your mother?
Think you I would forget such a thing?
Think you?
No, but neither do I seek revenge against them.
Still uttering the same nonsense. No matter. Now is the time to put aside your weak human side and join me in remaking this world!
Dracula, in the name of my mother, I will defeat you again!
Well, yeah, it looks like a vampire back there to me. Let's just throw shit at him till he dies. This is where I have a moment to eat sushi.
LOL. Mercy and forgiveness is foolish. I didn't know Dracula was a modern Christian.
Right? Exactly. They got a lot in common, don't they? Ah, get out of that. Nope, wrong button. Oh no, he's immune to fart clouds. Oh, does she not have apples? I thought I had apples. Am I going to die? I swear I had some life apples. Sirloin steaks are always delicious, but do I have the life apples? Some pot roasts. God, I don't have any. Take a neutron bomb and real fast. Nope. Oh wait, we got time. He's going backward. Eat all the food. Where'd that food go? Pot roast. 50? The sushi was more than that. Sirloin. That sounds tasty. 100. Okay. Oops. Ate all the food. Put the shield back on. And if we get low on health points, we'll cheese. Some more. I think he's almost dead. All right, we're cheesing. We're cheesing, boys. Where's that shield rod? God, this is the worst part of the game, is the damn menu. It really is. I probably passed right by it, but didn't see it. Because I just can't see. I can't read. Reading's hard. Holy rod. Need a... Where are you, shield rod? I've probably passed it and you're all screaming at me. I hope. I'm not trying to troll you. It's just the two lists make it hard for me to see things. Honestly, if it was one list, it would be better. Cheesed.
Go back whence you
Nah,
came.
you saw it
Trouble
before me,
the soul
XD.
of my mother no more.
How is it that I've been so defeated?
With the power of cheese.
You have been doomed ever since you lost the ability to love.
Sarcasm. For what profit is it to a man if he gains the world and loses his own soul? Matthew 16:26, I believe.
Hey, Valor, there he is. Quoting the Bible, too.
Tell me, what were Lisa's last words?
She said, "Do not hate humans. If you cannot live with them, then at least do them no harm, for theirs is already a hard lot." She also said to tell you that she would love you for all of eternity.
Lisa, forgive me. Farewell, my son.
Damn, I couldn't have hit the nail any squarer on the head. Play. Bluha's one giggle.
Oh, look at them PS1 graphics. Fantastic. Castle's gone. Oh my God.
So you made it.
Alucard, I'm glad you're all right.
I'm sorry. 'Tis my fault you had to fight your own father.
Fear not. I had my own reasons for destroying him.
It must have been painful for you.
Indeed. But you must always remember that the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing.
I understand.
Alucard, what will you do now?
The blood that flows in my veins is cursed. 'Twould be best for this world if I were to disappear forever.
I see.
Farewell, then. We'll not meet again.
Alucard?
Don't you want to go after him, Maria?
No, it's best this way. I can't ease his torment. Someday, perhaps, we will meet again. And on that day, maybe.
I see.
Let's go. Everyone's waiting for us.
Yes, let's get out of here.
Hooray, the end. We did it. We'll get some smooth jazz.
Damn. Smooth saxy time.
Yeah.
Lil Haas one vibe.
Drifting high up in the sky that never ends. Through thick and thin, I always win. 'Cause I will fight both life and death to save a friend. I face my destiny every day I live, and the best in me is
Anywho, with that, I'm done for the day. I appreciate everybody's here. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in, Valerie. Thanks for keeping it lively. Thanks for Jules over in the YouTube chat and KBP over in the Kick chat. If you want to watch more stuff, you can. At the YouTube link right there.
YouTube.
Or hop into the Discord.
Discord.
Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. Leave links and I'll bring them up on screen and we'll feel them all together.
Vices Waldo. Vices all other lovelies.
Yep.
Master 2002 Shark A Love Master 2002 Shark Wave.
Very nice. Thank you, sir. I'll be on my way out. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday for an evening stream, 7 o'clock Wednesday night, 7 o'clock PST West Coast Best Coast time. And if you want me to play a different game, I will. I've got a couple of others that I've started and not really finished. Sometimes I finish them, sometimes I don't. I might go back to, what was the name of that one? With the world that was ending? Or should I just do more PS1 games? Just get with it. God, I would love to play Xenogears. I really would, but it's crazy long. It's a really long RPG. It's PS1. I have the Duck Station. I can play Xenogears. Yeah, I kind of want to. Maybe. Tell me what you think. Should I play Xenogears? It is one of my favorites, and I love it. And I don't have to spend a whole lot of brain power. And it's filled with politics. And it's filled with crazy crap and religion. And it's just very good. So I might do that, but I'm not sure. And it's one of those ones where you nobody else will be playing it, and then anybody who sees it would probably jump in. It has fanboys, is what I'm saying. And those fanboys would come and watch, and then they would become addicted to me and my streams. Then we would have more friends. Anyway, that's it for me today. I appreciate everyone's here. Thank you very much. And I am on my way out. I will be back on Wednesday unless the Gestapo kick in my door and drag me off to the gulag. Which they might. You never know. Like, that becomes less a joke every single time I say it. Goodbye. Less a joke every time I say it. kind of wanted the song to end so that I could end when the song ended, but it didn't end. The smooth jazz moment with Waldo is over. Goodbye.